In this video, I wanted to go over really quickly how to interpret the y-intercept of a linear equation. Now, all of this information is completely made up. It's strictly used for this demonstration here. So let's pretend that we have a data set of daily income, which is measured in dollars per person, versus life expectancy, which is measured in years. And let's say that our graph looks something like this, with our regression equation in there, and that the equation for our regression model is y hat equals 0.14x plus 30. Now, if we want to interpret the y-intercept, first of all, we need to know what the y-intercept is. Well, it represents the place where the regression equation crosses the y-axis. So it is that point right there. Now, as far as our equation goes, your y-intercept of a linear equation is going to be the numeric value that is not attached to the x. So in this case, it's the plus 30. What that tells me is that the coordinates where the line crosses that y-axis would be 0, 30. Now, the 0 comes from the x value. Well, if we are on the y-axis, our x, we haven't moved left or right, so our x value would be 0. And then our y value would be whatever the intercept is. So that's essentially what we're trying to do. Now, when we're doing the interpretation, the neat thing is that when you have a y-intercept, the x value is always going to be 0. The y value can change depending on what number is here, but the x is always going to be 0. So our interpretation is always finding out what is the predicted y value if x is 0. So in order to apply that to our situation for an interpretation, we could say something like the predicted. Now we need to tell what our y topic is. Well, our y topic was life expectancy in years. So the predicted life expectancy when, and again, we need to indicate what our x topic was. So when the daily income per person and that's always 0. So the predicted life expectancy when the daily income per person is 0 would be 30 years. Okay. All right, okay. I don't particularly like that sentence the way I phrased it, so I'm going to modify it a little bit. I'm going to move the 30 years up here by my predicted life expectancy. So the predicted life expectancy of 30 years, nope, I still don't like that. Oh, here we go. Okay, the predicted life expectancy is 30 years when the daily income per person is 0. There we go. I like that a little bit better as a sentence. Again, so you might have to rework the phrasing a little bit to make it into a decent sentence, but that's kind of the general idea of what it's showing us. So if I scroll down here to my second example, so this time similar situation, everything's made up. Unemployment rate, which is measured in percent, versus the happiness score. The unemployment rate would be our x topic, the happiness score would be our y topic, and if we are asked to interpret the y-intercept, first thing we need to do is identify it. And remember, it is the value that is not attached to the variable. So in this case, it would be 20. So what we would have would be that the predicted, again, our y, the predicted happiness score, is 20% when now we need our x topic here, when the unemployment rate is 0 or 0%. Okay, so again, your intercept is always the predicted y when your x is 0. Okay, so hopefully that helps out a little bit.